Alright, we're back again. Lots of interruptions. Blew through about at least an hour, I think, minimum. Okay, we're going to recheck the torque on our head bolts, make sure they're tight, and then we'll get back to putting the motor together. And then get it done sometime this year. Alright. So with the dial wrench, I can see the torque I'm putting on it. Those are all good. So just as the bolt head starts to move, it's at the torque. This one's a little bit looser there. 0 now. That's the one that felt slightly soft when I did it before. 0 on that one. That one's good. Alright, so 3 of those moved a little bit, especially that one in the back corner. These ones are all good. And hopefully you can see the dial better too. Alright, so those are all torqued. Tools away. Okay. Now, before we go too much further, I want to make sure the pistons don't hit the heads. Here to be good. Okay, I'm going to get back to top dead center. Put the screwdriver in the hole. It's all the way up, we're top dead center. Use a Phillips screwdriver so the tip don't break off. These tips will break off if you bend them. These ones usually don't. Okay, so this one's right at the valve trim. Put on this hole right now. So, we got our push rods right here. Wipe the dust off. Okay, the first thing I do is figure out which ones are which. So you got 2 short ones and 2 long ones. No, we actually have 3 different lengths. So these are short intake. This one here is intermediate length, and this is the longest one. So you look at the right up here where the nut is. So the longest one is your front exhaust, the other one's rear exhaust. So this one goes over here. This one goes over here. And these 2 here are the same length here, but you see a different adjustment. And the front exhaust is the next longest one. I mean front intake, excuse me. That one, and this is the other one that goes over here. So that's how they're supposed to go if they're already adjusted. Okay, we're going to readjust those anyway, but that's where they're supposed to go. Okay, I already got the O-rings in here. And it does not look like I put O-rings up in here yet for some reason. Usually I do that before I get this far. So we got to put the O-rings up in the head up there. So S&S does not give you any push rod hardware with their kit. They only give you the rocker box stuff because they're cheap. So I got to come up with O-rings for that. So we get all our new O-rings here. Okay, so we need a couple of push rod stuff. I got 3 of his 4 over here, but with his old ones that we took out. These were brand new. They were only used for like 10 miles, depending on which guy used them. So I'm going to reuse 3 of them, because I only got 3 of them. You wipe them all off to get all the oil off. Do not put them in solvent or anything. Now, this one here is left over from the other job. So, appears to be the same size. This is off that twin cam bike. Okay, I'm going to make sure it's not deteriorated by pulling on it. Yes, it's still good. It's nice and pliable. So this one feels like a good one too. So let's put this one over here in the front exhaust. If it'll go up in there. Yeah. Okay, that one's in there. Here's our lower O-ring here. Can't see what I'm doing like this. Put the O-ring up in there with your finger. Like that. Okay, I take a little oil. Put in the push rod tip. Take your cover. Go like that. Drop it in the hole. Same on the other one. Last one. Okay. Okay, so now our push rods are in there where they belong. So you can put the rocker box up on there. Okay, we got two different sets of them here. We got to figure out which one is which. They're interchangeable, but one probably looks better than the other. This one appears to be fairly good. Got a few scratches right in here, bubbling going on. So I think we'll make this the front one. Now the lids are interchangeable too, so we can pick out the best lid. This one's all scratched up from being rubbed around. This one's got, it's bad on the scratches. So we'll make this the front one, we'll make this the rear one. Okay, these are got our stands right here with the bushing or the arms in them. These are roller rockers. So here's the one here. We're going to put new O-rings in here because we have new O-rings. The oil came out of there from somewhere. Okay, now this motor for some reason has no baffles in here for the breathers. So he had a lower breather down here in the bike, coming out of here. That's your case breather. He also has breathers up here through the heads. See right here. That'll be coming through this part up here if you had a baffle or anything. You don't have no baffle. Now his oil line stuff over here, he he has breathers right here. This is all your breather stuff. So when you do not have your baffles in here, it tends to use a lot of oil. So why is there no breathers in these things? See, these are both gone. So he's going to use a lot of oil right now because he doesn't have breathers up in here. Like I said, there should be a valve, there's a flat plating like a reed valve type thing with a screw that holds it down. That's what should be in here. And that stuff is missing. It doesn't look like it has been in there either. Wonderful. Let's see what they're using here. Oh, it looks like they got a rubber design on these new ones. Okay. So this one's using a flopper valve here instead of the reed valve thing. Alright, so these newer style ones they still got the provisions for the valve in there, but they don't use them, they use rubbers. Alright. That makes that more simple. But if he uses oil, we know why. It's made wrong. Okay. So this one takes a gasket. Doesn't really matter how it goes on. Check your oil holes, make sure everything lines up that matters. It appears all the holes are there that we need. Okay. These go up in there next. There's a gasket that goes in, an O-ring that goes in here. Right here. So there's your O-ring. Camera. O-ring goes right in here. Yeah, I can't show it now. Anyway, there's an O-ring that went in there. And this goes on top of here. Make sure all your dowel pins line up. Of course, none of these want to line up. Not very well, anyway. It's the O-ring in there. Then we have another O-ring that goes right here to seal the cover. So that's two of those O-rings in one. Alright, so we're going to have 4 big bolts here. And then we got 2 more right over here. So I only see 4 bolts, and 5th one is here. So it looks like all they're using is 5 bolts to hold these down. Before you put this on, put a little oil on the push rod tip. I don't know where these are supposed to go, but I'm guessing they're supposed to be probably more in the middle of the bike than to the outside. So we'll put them right there. Probably should put a bit of oil on the rollers up in here a little bit. It's hard to do the camera and work all at the same time. You're going back and forth, but a little bit of oil on the roller there. Go like that.
Hello?
Alright.
You gonna be here for a minute?
Oh yeah.
I just got 1 package to give.
Okay, no problem. Thank you. Scooby, quit barking at the mailman. Scooby woke up. See that vicious animal there? Yeah. He barks right the way I'm going to sniff his leg. Alright, so this is the hardware we got to work with here. So I don't know if it's all here or not. That'll be our next problem. So we got 4 bolts like this, and we got 4 Allen bolts. So I'm guessing we're using 2 of each. And it appears this one has no washer on it. That means the washer's missing. Wonderful. So obviously the Allen bolts go in here, and the washer has to be pretty small to go in there, otherwise you'd have a problem. Alright. So these I put on the Loctite. Yeah, I got about 5/8 thread, that ought to be enough. Okay, now for the other screws, looks like all we got is these things right here. Should be 8 of them. Looks like there is 8. Good. So these go right here, one there, one over there. All fine. And then we should have 2 more Allens to go right in here. And all I see is these chrome ones right here. And once again, those look like about the right length. Don't know why we got chrome inside of a motor, but it'll work. Alright, so all the hardware looks good that we got. So it should work. So I just use blue Loctite on my hardware. So I just put a little bit of Loctite on these. That. Move it around until it starts. And our hex bolts. Chrome Allen here. And the little small ones are going to be the fun ones. So I'm going to take the Allen, hold it with a wrench. I should be able to put it right on in there. Yeah, almost. Okay. If you don't put Loctite on these bolts up here, they tend to loosen up on you. Rocker boxes move around a lot, so when they're moving around, they loosen the hardware up. Okay. Right now it's like having hydraulic lifters in here. Like stock, we're compressing these lifters right now as I torque these things all down. Just take a little tension on these. I'm going to put a little tension on these. You want to do these evenly so that the hydraulic units will pull down. You just kind of work these down a little bit at a time here. Must be getting tight. There's that one. These ones here I think are already pretty well down. Nope. That one is. No, that one is. You got these little small ones in here. That bolt does not want to go in evenly. There it goes. Okay, so they're all pulled down. They're not torqued, just pulled down. Make sure nothing's contacting where they're not supposed to. See, we got clearance in here. It's close, but see, everything's got clearance, like they're made for it. Okay, now these are all ready to be torqued. Hydraulics are tight. You have to let these bleed down a little bit. We're going to readjust them, but you have to let them bleed down before you can turn the motor over, obviously. So, I'm going to do our torque. So this one's adjusted for big wrench, for big bolts, which is about 22 to 25 foot-pounds. I forget which one it is. So you got torque right there, and Tatro torque. Short nut, just round it over slightly. I have a certain torque I run things out. Torque wrench is more for you to look at than me. But it gives you an idea what's happening. Okay, this one has to have an adapter in here to make that work, so it doesn't even work. So we're not going to torque it, we're going to torque it by normal way. Okay, every Allen has its own torque wrench. When you see the torque wrench starting to twist a little bit, it's torqued. So you go like that and you watch the thing go twist, twist, it's tight. That pretty much works on every Allen I've ever seen. Now, if your Allen has a permanent twist to it, that means you've over-torqued something. See how it bends? Get closer, maybe we'll see it. So you can watch this twist on you. See it? See how it twists? That means it's tight. That's how that works. Okay, so I did those four. Pretty sure I did all four. Yep. So you can come back and double check if you want. It's the same twist, see? Okay. Alright, so these are all torqued in. The hydraulics have not given up yet. They're still pretty tight. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to adjust these things anyway. Readjust them. So I have special holding power tools here for doing these things. Okay, let me get a couple wrenches, I'll be back.